Hey, so I wanted to do a quick video and talk a little bit about the gear that I'm using out here. So I'm in Idaho, fishing trout streams, small, medium-sized trout. And so this is the stuff that I'm using and gives me the biggest variety, I guess you could say, of ways to use it. So let's get into it. The first thing is obviously a good quality rod. Now, if you're a beginner and just getting into this, the good news is it is very affordable to get into fly fishing now. It used to be that it was way expensive, all the gear, cost a fortune. Now there's actually very affordable gear that's good quality gear and really going to get you out and you're going to be successful with it. You're going to be able to cast good and everything else. So talking about a rod, the rod's going to be your most important piece of gear that you have. Obviously that's going to help you cast out and present that fly to the fish. It's going to help you to be able to fight the fish, and so the majority of your budget needs to be focused on the rod. Now that doesn't mean that you have to break the bank on the rod, but you want to get a good quality one. Now as far as sizes, out here I'm typically always fishing a 5 or a 6 weight rod, and typically those are 9 feet in length. That's kind of your standard anyway. So typically that's what I'm fishing, is a 9-foot 5 weight or a 9-foot 6 weight rod, and that gives me a lot of different a variety of ways that I can fish. I can fish dry flies with that. I can fish nymphs with that. I can fish streamers with that. So those 5 and 6 weight rods are going to kind of be your middle ground and gonna get you a lot of different ways that you can fish. So next we can talk about a reel. Now there's 2 reasons to have a reel on here. Obviously it's to hold the fly line, okay, and keep it so that the fly line is manageable. And the second reason is to have a drag system so that you can fight a fish. If you catch a bigger fish than you're just going to strip in, then you're going to want a good smooth drag system to be able to fight that fish and get it landed. So there again, there's some great choices for affordable reels. You don't need to break the bank. Something that just holds the fly line and has a decent drag system on it. If you're fishing really small streams and creeks, then you really don't need a drag system. Something to think about there if you're just going to be stripping those fish in. So don't really need anything super special when it goes to starting out and the reel that you're going to need. Next on the reel is going to be, now there's fly line on the reel, and then underneath the fly line, so from the reel to the fly line, you're going to attach some backing. And this gives you an extra couple hundred feet of line that could be, taken out by the fish. And it's just a smaller line that allows you to fit more line on the reel. So that's typically made of Dacron. You can get that like 20 or 30 pound test. You're going to get some of that, and I'll do another video where I show how to set all this up. But this is just kind of a gear list that you're going to need. So you're going to need some backing for your reel. Now fly lines can be a little bit tricky because there's so many different kinds of fly lines out there, depending on the kind of fish you're going after, or the presentation, the kind of fishing you're doing, and that kind of thing. But for out here, 99% of the time I'm just using a regular floating line. It's a weight forward floating line, so that's just fine. You're going to be able to fish dries, nymphs, streamers with that, and it's gonna it's gonna be just fine. So match the fly line to your rod size, and it's going to be either a weight forward floating line or a double taper floating line, whichever kind of you want to do there. Maybe I'll do another video on fly lines as well, and we can kind of get into the weeds a little bit on that. So on the end of my fly line, I like to put in a butt section. So what that is it's just like maybe a 10 or 12 inch section of like 30 pound monofilament. That allows you to attach more leaders, and as you're not attach more leaders, but as you replace leaders, then you can clip that butt section, and you're not gonna be clipping your fly line, if that makes sense. So I typically will do a butt section and then tie my leader to the butt section, and leader's gonna be typically I'm using a 9-foot 3X leader, and then that gives me some, you know, a little bit of room where I can tie on some 4 and 5X tippet or something like that to go to my fly. So anyway, that's kind of the rundown on gear. You know, there again, if you're a beginner, I think that's going to get you, you know, it's going to set you up for success there. You know, you can go out, practice casting and get going with that. That gear's going to do great. And if you're planning on a trip this summer to come and fish here in Idaho or Yellowstone National Park, some of the surrounding areas, that's going to be more than adequate and set you up for success on your trip. So have a good day.